Hello there Scapers, my name is Xenavilius and welcome to my Amulet of Souls versus Reaper necklace video. I've actually made one of these in the past which was quite popular, but it's been 2.5 years since that was released, so I thought it was time to make another. What with the ornament kits and the visual upgrades that they released last week. So this video is mainly going to focus on the statistical variations and differences between the two, including their special effects, rather than looking at each specific boss and which one's better there. You'll get a general idea of it by the end of it, but I'm not going to look at each boss one by one as such. So let's get right into it. What are the differences between the two amulets? Well, they're both Hydrix jewelry, which you can make at level 99 crafting and enchant at level 87 magic. You need 300 Reaper points to buy the Hydrix from death, or obviously you can buy it from the GE. The Amulet of Souls is a superior amulet if you look at stats. Plus 46 to all your styles versus plus 36 for the Reaper necklace. However, the Amulet of Souls has two special effects which apply all the time. The first is that you will get an extra 10% damage reduction from protection prayers for a total of 60%. So for example, if you were going to take a 5k hit with protection prayers, that would be 2.5k with the Reaper necklace. However, it would be 2k with the Amulet of Souls. So significant reduction in incoming damage. Also, there's a 50% chance that Soulsplit heals 25 to 50% more, essentially making it, on average, plus 18.75% extra healing from Soulsplit for every hit that you do. What does the Reaper necklace offer? Well, it's got a buff where as soon as you wear it and you're attacking a monster, every single successful hit that you do gives you a 0.1% hit chance buff in all your styles, and that's a flat 0.1%, stacking up to 30 times to give you a 3% flat hit chance increase. And that's all it does. If you take it off, if you switch it, you lose all your stacks. You have to rebuild them again, but it's not that difficult to build them because each hit counts as a stack, including bleeds, including channeled abilities, and so on. The ornament kits that they released with the Clue Score rework add +2 to each of them. So 48 for the Amulet of Souls and 38 for the Reaper necklace. That's all they do. Nothing else. Obviously, there is the aesthetic appeal, but nothing else as far as DPS or stats are concerned. And moving on, for this analysis, I'm going to assume a few things. I'm going to assume that you're going to use either the setup on the left or the setup on the right. The setup on the left is pretty much the highest style bonus you can get in the game right now, which is plus 235 without ornament kits, with the Amulet of Souls, and plus 225 with the Reaper necklace. On the right side is a bit more of a Slayer setup, so plus 167 with the Amulet of Souls and plus 157 with the Reaper necklace. I'm going to look at each of these and analyze them all at once. Alright, so it's not as simple as comparing the plus 46 bonus of the Amulet of Souls versus the plus 36 bonus of the Reaper necklace, because you got to apply it to your overall DPS output. So in order to do this, you need to include things like your range level, the prayer you're using, the potion you're using, the weapon you're using, and the gear you're using. So combining all these, we have the following comparisons. So with tier 95 prayers and supreme overloads and 99 ranged as a base level is 128. Your total damage rating combines everything I just mentioned, and you can see the difference between the two. 23414 for the Amulet of Souls versus 2325. There's a formula for this, but I'm not going to go into it because I've calculated it separately in a spreadsheet and I'm showing it to you guys here. The hit chance I'm going to assume for now is 100% for both, i.e. you're fighting something where you've got 100% hit chance. Usually a boss with a bunch of affinity buffs applied to it, or a low level boss or Slayer monster which you can easily hit through. So 100% hit chance for this scenario. The DPS arbitrarily is damage times hit chance. I'm not talking about actual DPS here, but arbitrarily that's what it is. And if we combine all of those, you can see that the Amulet of Souls is 0.71% higher DPS than the Reaper necklace whenever you have a hit chance of 100%. So in these scenarios, obviously the Amulet of Souls is the way to go. Now if we have a look at a lower style bonus, So the second scenario, the Slayer scenario, you can see that the total damage rating is slightly lower, and because it's slightly lower, it's also proportionately slightly higher for the AoS. So your total difference in damage is 0.75% rather than 0.71%. I would also like to note that I've calculated these numbers for different combinations. For example, I've calculated it for T95 Prez and T92 weapons. I've calculated it for T99 Prez and T90 weapons, T99 Prez and T92 weapons. And for all of them, it's almost exactly the same difference. There might be a 0.01% difference, literally nothing. So it might be 0.74 rather than 0.75. So yeah, there's not much difference. I'm just going to assume this combination for the rest of the video. And now we come to the situation where you might want to start thinking about using a Reaper necklace. When would you use a Reaper necklace? When your hit chance isn't quite 100% on whatever you're fighting and you need to boost it up to 100%. Incidentally, if you want a hit chance calculator, I highly recommend Chipapaz hit chance calculator, which will allow you to play around with a few buffs and things and look at different bosses. He's got a library of boss statistics, so you can work out your hit chance on different bosses under different conditions to your heart's content. That's in the description below. But in this one, I'm just going to look at the general case of, say, a base hit chance of 97% with the Amulet of Souls, and obviously increasing it by a flat 3% would be 100% with the Reaper necklace. So in this scenario, you can see that the difference in damage is still exactly the same as before, 0.71%. However, the Reaper necklace offers you a plus 3.09% hit chance increase. Why is it 3.09%? Well, 100 is 3.09% more than 97. However, 97 is 3% less than 100. So it's looking at it both ways, really. And if you add up the numbers, the difference in damage is nowhere near enough to overcome the difference in accuracy. And therefore, the total DPS increase using a Reaper necklace is plus 2.37%. Pretty substantial, and this is why you want to use a Reaper necklace. Despite the lower damage rating, the hit chance boost far outweighs this and gives you a nice 2.37%. Applying this to the lower equipment bonuses of, say, a Slayer assignment, again the numbers are very similar, slightly higher difference in damage for the AoS as you saw before, and therefore that drags the total difference down a little bit from 2.37 to 2.33%. So the point is that yes, the Reaper necklace is absolutely the best one as long as you do not already have a 100% hit chance on whatever you're fighting. Now, these numbers actually get bigger and bigger the lower and lower your original hit chances. I've actually plotted this, and you can see this on the following graph. What this is showing is along the bottom, you can see the hit chance with AoS, i.e. the hit chance without any boosts. The lower that is, the higher the difference between Reaper necklace and AoS. So for example, at 20% base hit chance with the AoS, i.e. a 23% hit chance with the Reaper necklace, the difference in DPS is 14%. Reaper necklace is 14% extra DPS. But obviously that goes down rapidly and then a bit more slowly as you get higher. And you can see that the point at which the DPS of the Reaper necklace is exactly the same as the DPS of the AoS is when your AoS hit chance is 99.3%. Pretty high. I mean, basically what I'm trying to say is you only want to use the AoS if you pretty much can guarantee you will get every single hit in. Otherwise, the Reaper necklace is better DPS. That's what this graph is showing. 99.3% hit chance is basically missing once every 143 hits. Pretty rare. Now, if we apply this to the other case where we're using Slayer gear, on the left you see the orange line is for the Slayer gear. On the right, the blue line is for maxed out gear, if you like. And you can see the hit chance percentage threshold is pretty much the same, 99.26. So basically 99.3% is the magic number. The hit chance difference between AoS being better DPS and Reaper necklace being better DPS. And this is obviously zoomed in. I'm only looking at the section between 97 and 100% hit chance. Alright, so how do ornament kits affect this? Well, ornament kits only add 2 extra style bonus to either the AoS or the Reaper necklace, so that's very, very small in the bigger scheme of things. So with maxed out gear, you can see the difference is 4 out of 2,341. The difference is 4. So I mean, I don't know if this is enough evidence or not for you guys to convince you that it's definitely not worth buying the ornament kit for that extra 0.14% DPS, guys, but if you feel that's the case, go for it. I'm definitely not going to buy it. I value my cash. So yeah, that's what the effect of the ornament kits is. For both the AoS and the Reaper necklace, it's 0.14% DPS increase. Pretty much negligible. I'm not even going to bother showing you guys the case for Slayer gear, but for Slayer gear it's 0.15% difference rather than 0.14%. So yeah, what even is that? 0.14% is 1 in 714. Not even worth bothering, guys. Next up, we have Soulsplit. So the way Soulsplit works is a little bit complicated, but essentially it's the following. Say you do a hit of 5k. The first 2k you heal 10% of, so 200 from that. Between 2k and 4k you heal 5%, so 100 heal from that. And anything above 4k, so that's 1k extra, you heal 1.25%. That's 125. So your total heal is 325. There are a couple more things to note. It's not affected by protection prayers, so if a target is protecting and taking half damage, you still heal based on the original amount, and you also won't heal more than 25% of the target's current LP per hit, which usually isn't anything to worry about unless the monster's really low on HP or if it's a goblin or something. So I actually did a very detailed calculation. There's not much point me showing you guys, but basically what the calculation did was distribute a bunch of different hits, each one weighted relative to the other, so that the average hit is 5k, and applying the Soulsplit healing formula to this, I came out with 7% as the amount that you heal on average. Again, it assumes a lot of things, so don't take this as something concrete, but averaging a lot of things out, I came out with 7% or 350 LP per hit if you assume you do 5k damage per hit on average. So taking all these into account, let's look at the situation where your hit chance is 100%, and even though you'll do slightly more damage over a given period of time with the AoS than you would with the Reaper necklace, for the sake of comparison and simplicity, let's just first look at the case where you're doing 1 million damage with both the AoS and with the Reaper necklace. In reality, you'll do slightly more than 1 million in the same amount of time with the AoS because you have a higher damage rating. But yeah, let's just ignore that for now. Again, with maxed out gear, also assume that you take 50k damage in this time, which with protection prayers is reduced to 25k. With the Reaper necklace, but it's reduced to 20k with the Amulet of Souls. So the difference between the two is 20%. 20% is pretty significant. You take 5k less damage, guys, for every 1 mil that you do. So for example, if you're doing, say, AOD and you're a DPS or something, over the course of the entire kill, say you do 1 million damage, which is pretty feasible, not gonna lie, especially if you're chinning or something. You're gonna take 5k less damage with these assumptions. That's not a good example, but anyway, it's pretty significant is my point with the AoS. As far as Soulsplit heals are concerned, obviously the way Soulsplit works is such that you heal 18.75% more than what you would heal without the AoS. So that's fixed regardless, as long as you only look at that percentage difference. Now, if we take reality into account, let's assume that with the AoS your hit chance is 97% and with the Reaper necklace it's 100%. If you factor in everything, including damage rating and hit chance, the total amount of damage you deal, if you assume it's 1 mil for the Reaper necklace, you deal 976.8k with the AoS. So that is a 2.31% difference in total damage dealt. Again, exactly the same as what I analyzed earlier. And the reason I'm doing this is because you can see this propagates through to the Soulsplit heals. Because you deal less damage with the AoS, you also heal less with the AoS. So the difference isn't 18.75% anymore, it's 16.01%. The point of this is that even though you think AoS is the better amulet for the healing, remind yourself that because you do less damage with it overall, if your hit chance isn't 100%, it also means you heal less overall. So the difference in healing between Reaper and AoS with Soulsplit on gets narrower. I went a step further to calculate the hit chance at which Soulsplit heals would be exactly the same with the Reaper necklace and with the AoS, and it turns out it's probably when you're doing Shattered Worlds and your hit chances are miserly 15.3% with the AoS. Not not a realistic scenario, but it's fun to see nevertheless that you'd have to go that far down for Soulsplit to be equally effective with both Reaper Necklace and with the AoS. Alright, so the conclusions are actually fairly straightforward. If your primary objective is DPS output, then basically use the Reaper Necklace anywhere you don't have 100% hit chance, which is most high level bosses really. Also, you saw from the graph that the lower your original hit chance, the greater the DPS increase using the Reaper Necklace. Because it is a flat 3% and not a multiplicative 3%, the Reaper Necklace is more and more effective the lower and lower your original hit chances. So for example, for a tanky boss like Nex or Magister or Yakamaru without any boosts, Reaper Necklace is better than the AoS by a more significant margin than at a boss like, say, I don't know, Vindicta, where usually you have 100%, you might have slightly less than 100%, but pretty much 100%. The Reaper Necklace isn't as effective. It's still better DPS overall, don't get me wrong, but the difference between AoS and Reaper Necklace is not that high. Ornament kits aren't worth considering, but you can assume they add plus 0.14, 0.15% to your overall damage rating and therefore your DPS as well, compared to their non-ornamented counterparts. I'm not sure how much they cost right now. I definitely wouldn't buy it unless they cost less than 10 mil, which I don't think they ever will. But if you want to use it, go for it. If you want an extra 1 in 700 increase to your DPS, go for it. Why not? And finally, if you want to think about a few other practical things, before deciding which one to use, think about the following things. With affinity boosts and other boosts, will you have more than 99.3% hit chance using the calculator that Chipapa has created? If that is true, then AoS is the way to go, assuming your primary objective is DPS. Will I value from the extra damage mitigation from protection prayers? Yes, usually. If you are a tank, then AoS is the way to go. DPS output isn't your primary objective, survival is. Do I need the extra healing from Soulsplit? This is actually pretty significant. You do heal a lot more with Soulsplit, 18.75% more with Soulsplit using the AoS. So if Soulsplit is your primary source of healing and you really need to heal as much as possible, as quickly as possible, then AoS is better, despite the lower DPS, unless your hit chances is over 99.3%. And also, if you're switching, consider the time taken to rebuild up to 30 Reaper stacks, which is what you need to max out your hit chance boost using the Reaper Necklace. And finally, think about whether you need either of them. I mean, if you're doing Slayer, chances are you're going to be using the Amulet of Zealots or the Salve Amulet E or something like that, so you might not even need to use either of them. So yeah, those are the things I would consider. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was good fun making it. If you have any questions at all, let me know. I have to give credit to Jade, who actually asked me to make a video on this. I wasn't really going to, but then I thought, why not? Why not? I like analyzing stuff, and you guys seem to enjoy watching it as well, so why not? So yeah, I will see you in the next one.